It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Monday, the 26th of May. It's Memorial Day 2025. I'm Michael Groff. Thank you so much for joining me. And temperatures around here for the rest of the day today, pretty close to maybe just a couple of degrees above seasonal averages, but nothing crazy for this time of year. But through the rest of the week, we'll see a gradual warming trend. But by this weekend, the weather pattern starts to turn decidedly more interesting across the Southwest. Moisture on the increase over Arizona, and could that lead to some rain? Yes, water that falls from the sky, precipitation, which is cursed by some people in other parts of the country, but we relish it here in the Southwest. Will we actually see some? It's pretty rare this time of the year. But we'll talk about that and everything else too as we dive on in and discuss. First, the almanac from yesterday, 98 degrees the afternoon high, 73 was the morning low. 98 and 72 are the averages for this time of year, so pretty much right where we ought to be. Outside now just after 12 noon as we look out there toward Tempe Town Lake. And it's a warm day, but again, not absolutely unfathomably hot for this time of the year in this part of the country. Presently 93 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew point's 27, so it is bone dry. Relative humidity 9%. The winds are light. The barometer is falling. Satellite out here across the west. We had one shortwave exiting. There's another one off to our north and west, kind of between systems here. Those, of course, are going to pass without much fanfare across the west, at least in our part of the country. Not much to be had out of that. A few high clouds from time to time, but for today, mostly clear sky in place across Arizona. And with time, we're going to see a little piece of energy break away from the main flow and cut off well off of the Southern California and Baja coast, but that will have implications down the road. Of course, getting ahead of myself here, we'll talk about that in just a moment. The watch warning map, some flood watches over parts of East Texas and Louisiana. They've had some rain and some strong storms, really, from the southern plains into the southeast U.S. over the last few days. And today will be no exception. Here's the convective outlook, that enhanced risk of severe storms, level 3 out of 5. Across parts of West Texas, again, San Angelo. Might see the strongest storms producing some large hail and gusty winds. I guess an isolated tornado wouldn't be completely out of the question there. The broader severe weather risk from eastern New Mexico all the way to the South Atlantic coast. Now, let's show you this graphic. Here we go. The tropics and the East Pacific, and things are getting more interesting here. Got an area of disturbed weather off the Mexican coast. The National Hurricane Center giving that about a coin flip's chance of development over the next 2 days. But over the next 7 days, the Hurricane Center has this up to a 90% probability of developing into a tropical depression or storm. And should it become a tropical storm, it would get the name Alvin. And this is a feature that we're paying more and more interest to here, because this could have at least some implications on our weather. Now, granted, that's still rather uncertain, but it is something that we're going to talk about in modeling in just a second. Here's the precipitation outlook valid through Monday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, maybe something, maybe at least a couple hundredths of an inch. Heavier rainfall right now, at least according to this graphic, slated across parts of western northwest Arizona, the higher terrain. But as we get into the summertime, this graphic, these maps, they become very hard to draw, because when we're talking about thunderstorms, your amount is going to vary. This sort of represents an average of what you'll see across the area. So let's figure out what's going on with this weather pattern, at least to the best of our ability, give you the latest information that we have here as we get to the models right now. Take a look at things. This is the GFS, the Global Forecast System. It's the American model. And this is the 12Z run, and this graphic right here is valid 5 o'clock this afternoon. This is the upper look at 500 millibars. That's about 18,000 feet off the ground. Okay, we've got a short wave that's going out into the plain states. That's going to be the focus for the showers and storms from the southern plains to the southeast. There's another little short wave off to our north and west. Around here, a dry southwesterly flow. And despite the fact that we have shortwave energy around, it's still going to be seasonably warm down at the surface for the rest of the day today with sunny sky and dry air. High temperatures should top out in the upper 90s to about 101 degrees. And that is more or less where we expect to be this time of year. The average high, 98 degrees, will be, within striking distance of that. Nothing record-breaking, nothing earth-shattering, just Typical Southwest desert heat. For tonight, clear sky, and with the dry air, we still do cool off at night, at least for now. Mid to upper 60s in the cool spots, low to mid 70s in the urban core. And then for tomorrow, sunny and just a skosh warmer with highs upper 90s to about 102. We'll tap on another degree here as we go to Wednesday. Maybe a few passing clouds, but otherwise high temperatures 99 to 103. And we increased temps by another degree or so on Thursday. But let's take a look down to the south and see what's happening on Thursday with our tropical system. And the GFS has this as a tropical storm or hurricane about that time. Off the coast of Mexico. It is well to the southeast of the Baja, but it's down there. It's beginning to turn more toward the northwest. And again, that's not going to be affecting us on Thursday, but we're watching it. We're watching very carefully because at this same time, off of the Southern California and northern Baja coast, a couple hundred miles to the west, is a developing upper low. And with high pressure sitting to the north, that's a Rex block pattern. We'll show you. Here we go. This is Friday. That's classic Rex block. And if that's right, well, the ingredients, the players are on the field, okay? We've got the ingredients are all right there. High pressure to the north and west. You got this upper low that's stuck underneath that. That's the Rex block. You've got this tropical cyclone, which is being now kind of pulled more toward the north and west. And so, again, for us on Friday, the day is going to be dry. High temperatures will be rather hot. This might be the hottest day of the period. Highs around 101 to 105 or so. But moisture is down there to the south of us. So scattered showers and thunderstorms beginning to develop on the Sierra Madre and across central Mexico. And again, for us right now, that's not a big deal. But you can see that system is moving more toward the southern tip of Baja. It is weakening, of course, because sea surface temperatures are still relatively cool down here as you get toward the Baja. So this is not going to hold together well. We don't really care about how well the system holds together. It's more about how much moisture it has and how much of that moisture gets drawn northward. Here's Saturday. Again, the upper low is off the Southern California coast, and moisture is now starting to increase enough that we might even see an isolated shower or storm over the higher terrain of northern and eastern Arizona. On Saturday, we might even see a stray shower storm develop over the southern deserts Saturday night and into the early morning hours on Sunday as that initial push of moisture now starts to come into southern Arizona. It wouldn't take much with that upper low to the west and still the warmth, the thermodynamics around here. So we could crank up a shower storm here in the southern deserts, maybe as early as Saturday night. Now, again, there is a great deal of uncertainty as to the exact positioning and how much moisture there's going to be and how this pattern evolves. We have seen a number of different solutions, but let's just keep going here. We'll talk about it. This is Sunday. And you see the GFS has pretty much got us dry on Sunday, but we're going to call for a 20% chance of showers or thunderstorms in here on Sunday. Most likely, if they are going to occur, they'd be in the afternoon, but I guess they could occur just about any time. Favored over the higher terrain of northern and eastern Arizona. And the scenarios kind of play out like this. We've got a subset of our models in the ensemble suites that are sort of showing this upper low opening up into a wave and lifting more toward the north and merging with another system over the Great Basin. And the main energy, the main dynamics with that would be deflected a little further to the north. And so only an isolated shower or storm would be possible here in the southern deserts or really across much of Arizona. You know, storms would be very widely spaced. There's another subset of our model guidance here that sort of has this holding together as more of an upper low and tracking a little further south across Arizona. And if that's the case, better dynamic support would be in place. And then there's kind of a lot of in between too, sort of a merging of these into a broader open wave, a trough with an axis that comes through, and we see more of a linear type shower and storm event. So a lot of possibilities are on the table. Right now, we're going to kind of lean with, if we can split the difference among all of those, we're just going to call for a general increase in moisture with chances of showers and thunderstorms coming in Sunday, and especially as we get into Monday. But let me just show you this. This is the precipitable water coming off of the GFS for Sunday afternoon, or Sunday night, rather. This is 11 p.m. Sunday night. And if this is right, oh my goodness. I mean, you got PWAT values up here at 1.5 to 1.6 inches. What is precipitable water? It is a measurement of the amount of moisture through the atmospheric column. And typically, this time of year, these values are in the 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 range. 0.5 might even be pushing it. In the monsoon season, the baseline value that we look for is about 1.3, 1.4 inches. This is above monsoon baseline levels of precipitable water here. These are very robust. I mean, this is the 99th percentile of climatology for this time of year, to say the least. We're out here at, +3, +4 standard deviations above the mean. So, needless to say, the moisture is here. Again, if the GFS is right, and a lot of the models agree, maybe they don't have quite this level, but even the ensemble guidance has over an inch of precipitable water here in southern Arizona. So the moisture is there. It's, will the dynamics be there? When does all of this kind of come together? We'll see. All right, but let's just keep going. This is a week from today, Monday, and this is the 2nd of June. All right. And now you do see this next piece of energy, this next system over the Pacific Northwest. Ordinarily, a system like that would have no effect on us, but with a lot of moisture around here across Arizona and a short wave coming through, pivoting around that broader upper low, well, that could be interesting. We could actually see some stronger winds aloft, and that could create scattered to even numerous showers and thunderstorms, particularly over the higher terrain, but even here in the southern desert, some scattered showers and storms would be possible. Not something that we would typically see here in early June, but when the moisture's around, that's what can happen. Now, needless to say, as we talked about yesterday, rain in late May and early June is rare. So I'm going to show you this. These are the number of times, or the number of years, that we have had measurable rain on every day of the calendar year in 129 to 130 years of record keeping. And you can see June 1st, one time in 129 years it has rained. June 2nd, 3 times. As you can see, June 11th, 0. It has never rained in Phoenix in recorded history on the 11th of June. There's been a trace, but this is not a trace. This is measurable rain, 1/100th of an inch or greater. And you can see, by the way, that on the other side, if you're looking for rain and you want to base it on probability, July 24th is your day. 32 times out of 129 years, it has rained on July 24th. I don't know what it is about that day, but that is, if you're looking for rain, I mean, that obviously is in the monsoon season, but that is the time where we've had the most. So there you go. It is rare. So hopefully we can get some rain around here. And we'll take anything we can get. We are in a very bad drought here across Arizona, as we have talked about extensively for really as long as I've been doing these videos. We've been in a 30-year drought, but we are in an increasing short-term drought as well. And when we talk about different kinds of drought, long-term drought, we're talking about groundwater supplies. Shorter-term drought, we're talking about reservoirs and tributaries and all of that. So drought affects different aspects of the land differently. So, all right, this is next Tuesday, and this is the 3rd of June. And now that area of low pressure over the Pacific Northwest is tracking a little further to the southeast into the Great Basin. Now, I think drier air would eventually start to come in, scour out that moisture. The one thing that this system will do is it should keep temperatures held in check. And if that's right, we probably don't even see highs in the triple digits. Highs will probably retreat back into the 90s. And with drier air, that's going to mean overnight lows should be relatively pleasant. This is out 10 days, Wednesday, the 4th of June. And again, that's a system that's sitting to the north and west of us. So I'll tell you, what temperatures could very well wind up being below average as we go into next week if this verifies. But again, I will stress, we have seen quite an array of solutions out here, as you would expect as we get out toward 10 days. Now, normally, model spread is not quite as large as we get out into the summer months. But in this case, it kind of is. I didn't prepare the graphic, but I will say the European AI model, it has substantial rain here in Arizona and in Phoenix. It's got rain amounts pushing up toward 0.4 of an inch, which again, for this time of year is practically unheard of. All right, looking at rainfall for Phoenix off the GFS ensemble. Now, again, this goes out through the 9th of June, and you've got 31 members in this ensemble. To get about 2/3, roughly, are showing, or 60% are showing rain in here. The ensemble mean is almost 1/10 of an inch. European ensemble, the mean is just a little bit over 1/10 of an inch, which again, for this time of year, considering this is the heart of the dry season and how little it typically rains, we'll take it. 1/10 of an inch for other parts of the country isn't even, nobody blinks about it, but around here, it's meaningful to us. All right, looking at temperatures off the national blend of models, we are going to be pretty toasty this week. Highs do peak up to around 103, 104, 105. But then a retreat in temps is expected as we get toward the weekend and early next week. How low will they go? That'll be determined by how much moisture comes in here. And it is possible, depending on the evolution of that next trough, again, we could stay below the triple digits, at least on a couple of days, if not more, next week. And that is going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions if you really like what we do here. Then support the channel by clicking that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube or making a contribution via PayPal. groffshow@gmail.com is that PayPal address. It's groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal. We also have a Venmo that is linked up down in the description as well. So there's so many ways to support us. And as we always say, liking, subscribing, just watching the video, that does help us out too. So any way you can help, please do. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of SweetChildAZ.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out, blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, more than likely Adriana related. It is all linked up down in the description, as is our streaming station. It's available 24/7, 365. It is called KMGX. We play a ton of music. We have a lot of fun with that. Give that a listen as well. Again, linked up in the description, or you can go to KMGX.com and listen via that avenue. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support, it is so greatly appreciated. Please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there. And you guys have yourselves a terrific rest of your Memorial Day.